Two men, two icons. Both have redefined Hollywood in their own way. But when the cameras stop rolling, who walks away with the crown? We're diving deep into their lives, their legacies, and yes, their money. Who made more? Who's more powerful? Who will history remember as the greater success? From their humble beginnings to the biggest movies on Earth, to the moments that nearly destroyed everything. This is Keanu Reeves versus Tom Cruise. Who's more successful and who's made more money? Strap in, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear winner. Let's start at the beginning. Keanu Reeves was born in Beirut, Lebanon in 1964. His father left when Keanu was just 3 years old, and he was raised by his mother, moving frequently between Canada, Australia, and the US. His childhood wasn't easy. He struggled with dyslexia, changed schools multiple times, and often felt like an outsider. But that outsider vibe? It became part of his mystique. He discovered acting in high school, dropped out, and started chasing roles. His breakthrough came in 1989 with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. People loved it, and suddenly, Keanu was on the map. Now let's rewind a little more to Tom Cruise, born in Syracuse, New York in 1962. Tom also had a rough start. His father was abusive, and his family was constantly moving. 15 schools in 14 years. He briefly considered becoming a priest before switching to acting. By 19, he landed a small role in Endless Love, and just 2 years later, he exploded onto the screen with Risky Business in 1983. That scene, sliding across the floor in his socks, instantly made him a cultural icon. And then came Top Gun. That was it. Tom Cruise wasn't just a star. He was a supernova. While Keanu's rise was slow and offbeat, Tom's was rapid, targeted, and explosive. One felt accidental. The other, engineered for greatness. But both had a drive. Both had the charisma. And both were just getting started. The 1990s were a defining decade. Keanu Reeves hit his stride with Point Break in 1991 and Speed in 1994. Suddenly, he wasn't just the quirky, quiet guy. He was an action hero. Then, in 1999 came The Matrix. Neo wasn't just a role. It was a symbol. The Matrix trilogy earned over $1.6 billion and turned Keanu into a sci-fi legend. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise had already dominated the 80s with Top Gun, The Color of Money, and Rain Man. But the 90s, that was his prime. Mission Impossible, Jerry Maguire, A Few Good Men, Eyes Wide Shut, Magnolia. These weren't just hits. They were critically acclaimed, culture-defining, and massive moneymakers. By 1996, Cruise was more than a star. He was a producer, launching the Mission Impossible franchise himself. While Keanu avoided Hollywood politics, Tom embraced it, learning the system and bending it to his will. But there was a difference. Keanu never seemed to care about being famous. Tom Cruise lived for it, and that difference shaped the way they played the game. No superstar escapes the dark side of fame. For Keanu Reeves, tragedy came fast. In 1999, his girlfriend Jennifer Syme gave birth to a stillborn daughter. 2 years later, Jennifer herself died in a car crash. It devastated him. Keanu pulled back from public life, avoided the spotlight, and quietly grieved, all while still making movies. He also had flops. Johnny Mnemonic, Chain Reaction, The Watcher. The critics doubted him. The studios overlooked him, but he never quit. In the 2010s, when many thought his career was fading, he returned with John Wick in 2014. A gritty, violent revenge story that nobody saw coming. John Wick wasn't just a hit. It started a new franchise. And suddenly, Keanu was cool again. Tom Cruise, too, had his struggles. The mid-2000s were brutal. His couch-jumping moment on Oprah, the Scientology controversies, the weird interviews, the public turned. He was mocked, parodied, dismissed, and then, like Keanu, he made a comeback. But his weapon was Mission Impossible. Each new installment got bigger and better. Cruise did his own stunts, hanging from planes, climbing the Burj Khalifa. He made headlines not just for acting, but for risking his life. In 2022, Top Gun: Maverick earned over $1.5 billion, becoming the biggest film of his career. Both men survived the fall, both reinvented themselves, and both came back stronger. Now let's talk money. Tom Cruise, global box office, over $11.5 billion. Highest grossing films, Top Gun: Maverick, $1.5 billion. Mission Impossible Fallout, $800 million. War of the Worlds, The Last Samurai, Minority Report. But more than acting, Cruise is a producer. With his production company, he earns a slice of back-end profits. For Top Gun: Maverick, he reportedly took home over $100 million thanks to ticket sales, streaming, and bonuses. His net worth? Estimates range between $600 to $750 million. Keanu Reeves' global box office, over $5 billion. Highest grossing films, The Matrix Reloaded, $738 million. John Wick, Chapter 4, $430 million. And we can't forget Speed, Constantine, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Keanu is not a producer in the same way. He takes large upfront salaries but rarely chases back-end deals. But here's the twist. Keanu gave away millions. He donated most of his Matrix profits, reportedly $75 million, to the special effects and costume departments. He's been known to quietly buy Harley-Davidsons for stunt crews, help co-workers pay medical bills, and take pay cuts so other actors could be hired. His estimated net worth? Around $400 million. So, yes, Tom Cruise has made more money, but Keanu's generosity has earned him something different: the love of millions. Let's be honest. Tom Cruise is famous. Keanu Reeves is beloved. Tom is polished, professional, always in control. He rarely lets his guard down, speaks carefully, and lives by discipline. His dedication to physical stunts, insane training, and pushing limits is respected. But he can come across as distant. Keanu, on the other hand, is the internet's favorite sad boy turned saint. We've seen him riding the subway alone, buying ice cream for strangers, quietly supporting charities without ever making it a press moment. He doesn't do it for clout, he just does it. In public polls, Keanu often ranks as one of the most admired celebrities. There are Reddit threads, TikToks, and full YouTube channels devoted to Keanu being wholesome. Tom Cruise? Not so much. He's respected, yes, but his image is tightly controlled. His ties to Scientology continue to make headlines. His personal life is rarely discussed, and his interviews always feel scripted. So if we're talking about likability and public affection, Keanu wins by a landslide. What will history say about them? Tom Cruise will likely go down as the last true movie star, someone who did things old school, big movies, big stunts, big control. He's one of the few actors whose name alone guarantees box office gold. He kept the blockbuster era alive. Keanu's legacy is different. He's a cult icon, twice reborn, first with The Matrix, then with John Wick. He's become a symbol of perseverance, kindness, and quiet strength. He didn't dominate like Tom, but he inspired people, in real life and on screen. Neo and John Wick are modern myths, characters that outgrew the actor. Cruise's characters, while epic, always feel like Cruise. So, in terms of influence, Keanu might actually have the deeper cultural footprint, not in quantity, but in emotional weight. Let's break it down. More money? Tom Cruise. He's richer, his movies gross more, and he owns back-end deals that pay him huge bonuses. More blockbusters? Tom Cruise. His filmography is a masterclass in big-budget global appeal. More beloved? Keanu Reeves. His reputation is spotless. He's a symbol of humility in a sea of ego. More iconic characters? Tie. Cruise has Ethan Hunt, Maverick, Jerry Maguire. Keanu has Neo, John Wick, and Ted. Greater legacy? Depends on how you define it. For impact, heart, and inspiration, Keanu wins. For power, money, and Hollywood dominance, Cruise takes it. So who's more successful? If success means money, power, and box office domination, then the answer is clear: Tom Cruise. But if success means surviving tragedy, inspiring millions, and staying kind in a brutal industry, Keanu Reeves is the true winner. In the end, it depends on what kind of success you value. Two legends, two very different paths, and both still going strong.